Hello and welcome once again. It's another opportunity, huge chance, of course, to be live on your preferable, I would say, one of the base shows that you love being tuned on. Hello, of course, this is Fabrice Msona on Temidlalo. The date today is 11th of May, the year is 2020. Of course, the entire world is still in shock, of course, of the COVID-19, the pandemic that has actually put us all in a position where sporting activities, as we speak, have been put on hold. But we just have a way to say one or two ways to touch there and there to see how are the associations cooperating, or how are they doing during this time where the pandemic has actually affected us hugely. Of course, we will touch on different things today. Netball will be one of the subjects to discuss today, to look at some of the things, including the under-17 national team. And of course, we'll also have a chance to touch on table tennis. Table tennis is a sport that many have been asking themselves, what's wrong with the sport in the kingdom of Eswatini? At some point, we also were informed that the Olympic movement actually had put the sport aside in terms of making sure that they are not active in the country. They were not meeting the requirements, so they were not active. So the association's administrator, one of the top administrator, Mr. Zulu, will be in the studio, of course, to give us clarity on some of the things. Linda Lamina, our in-house analyst, later on, of course, will come to touch on some of the things, but we will, of course, give a platform also to the international news to see what's happening internationally. Players keep testing positive, and leagues have been waited to start very soon. Otherwise, for the next 57 or 50 minutes, 58 minutes or so, we'll give a clarity on those topics. I'm already in the company of Temidlalo. Singasho ukuthi labanenge bamatela Olympia Africa, where he heads a team as a coach, Olympia Africa ladies team. But he also occupies a position within the Netball Association as an executive member. He's a coach, so he also is a coach for the under-17. So he's got all the information, and that's why we're going to be with him. Yes, we have a tradition here in the studio. We are also going the same direction with government together with WHO to ensure that there is no spread of COVID-19. We've been told that the only way that you can keep safe is to make sure that you are always clean. We can't wash the hands here in the studio, but we can do something by trying to sanitize your hands. You could be the one now who is clean, and you could be me next to you. I could be the one who's coming with the virus. So it is always safe to ensure that you are sanitized, and we ensure that you are clean and safe. How? Now we're in the studio. Let's talk about sport. Let's talk about the job that you do, and people know you for mostly the netball. You coach a team called Olympia Africa Ladies Team. How long have you been positioned in that team? Tell us just about the highlight of the Olympia Africa season.
Okay, thanks Mzonela. Olympia Africa sinbekanye nayo for the past, I say, 8 years. Yes, because ngaqala kuba coach abasenabo 9, 10, 11 years labamvana. Lokho nyalo siba nabo 17, 18, 19, 20 years. Yeah, my highlights as a team maningi kakhulu because si competile kuma juniors league. Yes, I perform kahle, and le main one lengasho ukuthi nyalo le currently ukuthi solo sisekhonile ukuthi sisayibambile kudlala lapha ka elite as sinema juniors siyakhona lokupha, so nanyalo was still there in the mid of the table.
Let's cool in terms of the netball in the country. I think when you talk about netball, you talk about volleyball, you talk about football even, and basketball, there is dominance of forces. I think it's one thing maybe you can also speak on as an executive member to say, in the now currently other teams should maybe get to understand that, make them dominant.
Okay. Ngethengati from their side lokuthi yini lebanako cause wonke umfowati libhodo langakakhe.
Kodwa in terms of the talent and the skill, not maybe the outside.
Okay.
The talent and the skill in the field of play.
Lengibonakele ama forces isikhathi esiningi ama players ama athletes abo anzawonye. so bayakhona lokuthi babe nesikhathi esiningi sekujima sekunakekeleka uyabo kanti unlike lama team latimele badlali babo balapha nalapha so lokwenda ukuthi ukhanze ukuthi noma bese kubahlanganisa babuye bajime nzawonye kube sekuba ngema resources ekhathi lokuthi ufuna ba transport and everything alokuthi bahlala bakhashana otherwise lokunye kungaba lokuthi yes maybe ngathi advantage la nabo badlali abaningi kithi thina labanangeni lama team lasakhula ukuthi angagcina lo mdlalo ukhanze ukuthi sebam recruit ufithi ilungelo la bona ku recruit I team approach umdlalo emfunako so but ithini kuma sene something ukuthi sikhona lokuthi sigcine sibamechile lama forces.
Now when we started the show we talked about your team, Olympia Africa ladies team. I think I paid you a visit at some point in January or February before this whole pandemic was a problem, and then I think you're playing against water services netball team.
Yeah,
bebalungiselela kudla imidlalo yaka water within the region.
Yes,
water regional tournament, and then you seemed keen with your team in terms of preparations, and I think I don't know if it was for the league or maybe just it's a routine to make sure that they're always on top of their game. Now the pandemic is there. I mean, what's been happening? How do you keep in touch with your team? How do you make sure that you are daily updated on how the girls are doing? And to give us a brief background.
No, the pandemic is affected kakhulu as a team. Ngoba asisakhona ukuhlangana sichubeka because iculture yethu Olympia Africa is to develop an athlete ukuthi ahambe onke lama stages la afanele aze afike on the highest level of being an athlete. So nyalo we midway through izithini asijimele kudlala ngeweekend ukuthi sijimela ukuthi sodlala neteam lenkuthi senelana kunaloko kushiyana lama season lokuthi okay nyalo sikusiphi isigaba zithi pre-season une mid-season off-season and bese kuba nalokuthi nje holistically as an athlete so ungakanani ukusigaba bani kumele reach kuphi potential so kuningi le training lekhona so le pandemic ke ishayile although siyazama ukuthi laba khona abadlali bethu as a team abende lokho labakhona kungenda ngaba kujoga bende ma indoor trainings exercises ma body work but ke angeke kufane nangalesikhathi sikanye sisinzawonye sisebenza.
Ikhona indlela mhlawumbe dlamini yokuchumana nje nalabadlali on social media kuva ukuthi kuhambe njani langa la?
Yes, ikhona although labanengi bede kahle le dincingo ngoba bantwana esikole so but ke siyalanzelela kubadala shayela badala okay upubani ngicoach ngi follow up wenda ini sometimes even as the parents because we must create the good relationship with the parent as a coach and kulanzelela lo mntwana ukuthi okay ukhula ubambiseke ngato tonke dingona labanye ke lo access ke kule social media kanzi WhatsApp group siyakhona lokuxhumana nabo labanye ke ba post ama videos abo noma kusazibona benda something of which is something legal.
Now I mean you also have I would say not even information, you know what it takes to have to be in charge of a national team under 17. Maybe the first question is that how many national teams do we have when it comes to netball? You know, is it like football when you talk about main national team, under 23, under 20, under 17? Here now I want us to touch on the under 17 because it's where maybe your expertise are, but just give us a short detail or detailed information how many national teams do we have in terms of netball?
Ngathi ahlukene kai 4 kunema under 17 mostly adlalwa under triple ESA Eswatini Sports Association kube nema like region 5 kuye ma under 20.
The ones we are looking at on the screen they are in under which category? I mean these are clubs but mostly they feature in what in which category?
Okay, it's difficult to tell because in terms of the age lamanango ayashwaniswa ngeminyaka as we said under 17 kube nema under 20 kube nema under 21 bese kuba ne senior team. Yes, nyalo nje because of this pandemic ngalo May bekumele kube kudlale iWorld Cup qualifiers under 21 eUganda nga December this year bomele kwe region 5 eLesotho boma under 20, so in short ahlukana like 4 bese kuba yi-senior team benoma championship ayo eNamibia.
I think there's even a time you're not ranked because the national teams had not been active. I think that situation was there.
Yeah.
What's happening now? Is the teams active now? Now when you talk about the under 17, when last were they competitive internationally?
The last competitive 2018 in Namibia. Yes.
Now it's 2 years.
Yeah, it's 2 years.
It's now. Is it because there's no competition? Because one would want to understand when you talk about under 17, it's probably girls who are also doing school work on the other side, but competitions are there. So us not being that active for 2 years, is it because maybe it's the issue of competitions, or maybe the other issues? Sometimes you can't see team, but the tema finances. Yeah, it does play a role. So what's been happening? What's the reason for the 2 years not being active?
Okay, kakhulu Fabrice, my finances, my resources ayashaya because we have a strategic plan, my operational plan as an association was okay for all the different 4 categories. Yini lesifuna kuyenda mane ukhanze ukuthi ke ema resources ayasilimate ukuthi singendana, mainly nje ngathi ngiloko, otherwise the teams on the ground are gone.
So what happens when you are invited for international competitions? We just receive the invitation, or we qualify if there are any qualifiers, but we don't go. How is the procedure? Then you send a message or an email to say we can't attend because of the finances. How is the response from the organizing committee of whatever the competition you're supposed to attend?
Okay, if there's a tournament, the international organizations, they send us invites. Okay, depending ukuthi nguyiphi le category leyo. Then ke as we have mentioned, kubese kubuya ukuthi okay, financial wise sita ukhona yini, and so far nguloko lokhanze ukuthi kuyashaya kakhulu. Otherwise we are interested in upbeat with everything. Teams are there, coaches are there, and on the ground they are working, because we can see most of the time ema teams akhona ayadlala are active, kubese kusala ngala kula resources.
The pictures we're seeing, I want to believe this is the league.
Yeah.
And then when you talk about the league with this pandemic, I can see how committed the girls are in terms of the teams, and I think there is UEDF in that team, the one in yellow and yes. So I want to talk about now the cancellation of the season and everything. What's your take on that?
Cancellation kusilimete Fabrice, kumele into letinengi ileague ifikele le pandemic ngalesikhathi our athletes aku momentum and about ukuthi aqedze ileague, because uselele ngu1, most of the teams 80% of the teams are selling 1 game, then 2 games lamanye. Otherwise lokho sikuyafika kwase kuya hold down everything, including my workshops okumele abe khona, can be off coaches.
Was it a decision discussed by management, or it was imposed?
Which one?
The cancellation.
Okay, in some of the things, because we're affiliates of government and everything, see. So if ever the government abona it's okay for us to be on the safer side, we have to comply.
There is complying by putting the season on hold.
Okay.
But government cannot say cancel the season. Yeah. Government can only say stop playing because the situation is not safe.
Okay.
So I'm talking about the cancellation of the season, because I want to believe, as a coach, and you also you have a seat in the management, you've got 2 roles, and I think you also have a way to say maybe this works for me as an Olympia coach, ladies team. That's what I'm saying. Government can say let's put the games on hold, but they cannot say cancel the season. Okay. So what's your take on that? You are coach, you pins away an executive member. What do you see?
No, the season is not cancelled. Yes, we can safely say it's on hold. We are still looking on after the lockdown it be uplifted, what are gonna do. It's too early for now to say the season is off, because most teams are selling 1 game, only about 4 teams are selling 2 games. So basically no, this season isn't cancelled. I think it can be something.
The pandemic, maybe we can touch on some of the things like sponsorship. You've got sponsorship like the likes of Influential. These are some of the sponsorship that are secured, that each year, they come to the point of your need. Maybe look at the pandemic, and you look at the sponsorship offers that you had. How affected have you been?
Yes, as Sqhubeka sisho, vele Fabrice, we've been affected. But again, as for inhlonhla, bese sinalo ukuthi okay sesiyirepeal yona. Then again now building society ngwe loselele one game or two most, even including nakuma regions. So ukuthi ngaphinze icele phasi, I think I can ngasho ukuthi we are safer ukuthi okay imali yabo whatever sponsorship sabo cha no sivele ipurpose and every goal. Ngiyo ngithi na nyalo ukuthi statistics in cancel, I think is not the right way for us to say it's too early. Otherwise the good relationship with our sponsors is there, and we appreciate so much for the good job they're doing for us.
They have it. Dlamini, the head coach of the Olympia ladies team, one of the top netball clubs within the country, and of course he holds a seat within the management of the association, just giving us a clear view of what's happening within the club, within the management, and then within, of course, the association. Thank you very much, Dlamini, for being here, and I think once the season resumes, we will also get a chance maybe to talk to you one or two things about how now people can catch up and what can happen to the players and to the athletes. Thank you very much for your time. Now, up next is going to be the tennis table tennis. Of course, we promised the viewers, those especially who love table tennis, that they are going to have some of the explanation that they wanted to find out about the sport in the country. They are already in the studio. Mr. Zulu is going to be with us to give us a short information about the sport. But leaving with Mr. Dlamini, of course, it's going to be a short message of COVID sports. Take a look at this as we welcome Mr. Zulu.
Itiko letempilo kwesicwayisile ngesifo lesivelile kulamana coronavirus COVID-19 bagcizelela kakhulu ukuhlanzeka kwetandla lokumcoka ukuthi itandla ligezwe nawugeza itandla ke bashilo ukuthi ligeze lokunenani ama seconds la 20 ngemanti lagijimako lanesipho lokunye ke lesicwayise ngawo ukuthi latingalweni ligciwane uthi ngakuthi leti nato utiwashe ungashintshe itandla kuphela for 20 seconds nalamkhathi sinetandla ugeze nakhona litawufa ligciwane kanjalo. Ngiyamcela ma-loyal viewers, geza intandla, nihlale ekhaya, nihlale niphephile, sitayinqobe i-COVID-19.
Now, from the moment it was announced that there will be no sporting activities due to the ongoing COVID-19, we all felt that. But imagine how much work you can do in your house just using your chair. It could be anything you have in your house. Take a look at this. From my own chair, I'm able to exercise 30 minutes a day, from biceps to triceps to my abs. But what are you waiting for? It is doable, it is possible. I'm able to do all the work. No matter how much time it will take me, I will stay active. Now, if you're a soccer player, an athlete, a gym instructor, anyone who loves exercising, use this time. It is doable in the house, in your own time. Stay safe. Together, we'll win this war.
Imidlalo yonke isiwe eveni. Hlala ekhaya utivikele kulesifo iCovid-19. Lokumcoka ukuthi uhlale ekhaya. Sitawudlala imidlalo uhulumende sekazivumela.
Kulesikhathi lapho khona umhlaba ula nemkhuhlane iCoronavirus, uhulumende kwakuleli ucele wona eMaswati ukuthi ekhaya alandele imihiso nemihambo yenhlangano yemhlaba emhlabeni. Kanike ngabe mbukeli ukuthi ngakala ukuthi uphume uye ekhaya ngoba ke uye emsebentini. Hlala ukufake iface mask. Kanike ngabe kubita ukuthi ukhwehlelela emkhonweni. Sitawubonana mbukeli mayibuya tona Temidlalo ngabe sitawulandzela tona tinqumo ta hulumende. Stay home, stay safe.
So lokukhutsatwa kona ke ukuthi hlale ekhaya uhlanzekile ugeze itandla.
Keep fit, stay home.
Ungayi ngaphandle kuyodlala imidlalo.
Hlala ugqoke iface mask.
Now, I'm already in the studio in the company, of course, of Mr. Pesi Zulu, the Vice President of the Table Tennis Association. Now, if you just join us, of course, on our YouTube platform, you're welcome, of course. This is the Temidlalo live show. He's already in the company I'm already in the company of him, of course, Mr. Zulu. Anguvusele babe Zulu, kutsi ube nathi namuhla ehlelweni. Yes. Babe Zulu, I'm very concerned because table tennis, it's one of the sports. There's a lot of potential. I think the last tournament was that was active. It was intervarsity games. It's about 4 to 5 games. I mean 4 to 5 years since then. And it has to do with inter companies. There's a Eswatini TV going to play with Lamanyema channels within the region. Then we play table tennis. Let's talk about the background of the sport, Babe Zulu. The association, how long has the association been surviving? And I think I want to believe you've got challenges as administration. Currently things are not going well. At table tennis
kuqala nje ngibonge ukuthola ithuba elifana naleli ngicabanga ukuthi mhlambe ngisekutawubonakala ukuthi sifaphi sivuka njani because you don't give up on such a thing into yesivele so ukufuna ukuthi mhlawumbe sibantu nasenda into kuqala sifunze ukumisela endweni nasiyenda siyende ngokuyithanza siyende ngokuthembeka siyende nje vele ngingagathi ukuthi ngidawuthola ama rewards ngende lento nje from my heart
for uthanzo. Yes.
Why ngisho kanjena our executive is very very poor. I would like to say that
poor performance wise or poor financial wise.
It's performance because I wouldn't lie as well. You see, we have actually failed somewhere somehow, but umuntu nakafeyila awubese uyamlahla.
Zulu, maybe so hambeka cool in terms of where I wanted us to go. You are about 8 years. 8 years.
Yes,
8 years as an association. Now, for 8 years, table tennis, it's a table and there's tennis, which means I would say there's no need for us to say there is a place specifically. The facility is a table on its own. So, 8 years, in 8 years, what is the well-known place when someone wanted to say, I want to play table tennis, would find you?
Yeah, that's the challenge we have, one. Yeah, siyithetha ukudlalela.
Nitena namatafula.
Siyitena namatafula. Matafula, to be honest, i-table tennis siyizamile kulo 8 years lombala umsakati. Because we have actually sasiqala cha angifuni manga senda into lebonakala ngoba senda yonke lemithetho lefunwa lama governing bodies sa register na sports council sa register na kasoka sa register na African Table Tennis Association sa register na International Table Tennis Association. We're so lucky from there. Basi baga International Table Tennis basilethela abo coach.
Sinanga kubo coach.
Si la wasilethela coach lotosifundisa what is table tennis all about, because le sport mbamba even kude bekasati kahle nalama rules akhona and all that. Bafika ke coach sabafundisa labafundzako. But you know, sometimes sithina sesende into sihlangene sasuka la sihlangene khona, we forget about it.
Babe Zulu, the pictures that we're playing just now of the table tennis, and maybe it will also add to what you say, to say the administration is poor, because for us even to use these international pictures, we're using pictures that are coming from international, is because there is nothing that you can use that we have seen local. So so this table on its own that comes with this small racket that we have here, how much does it cost roughly?
Okay, litafula roughly is 4,000.
Litafula alone?
Yeah, litafula
with the net and then the two.
Yeah, with the net, but the beds are separate one. Yeah.
So I want to believe
nemabhola
nina ngakho amatafula kwanyalo.
ematafula lakhona nyalo international table tennis yasipha ematafula. I think it was 2012 yasipha ematafula lang 10 the international standards as our distributor ke lama teams abekhona by that time beka active nasetikolweni. From there ekudlaleni naso when follow up ekudlaleni bantu abadlali mhlawumbe nawubite ama tournaments abaveli. You see sometimes ithola ukuthi ke nale tournament uyibita nje awude nale incentive mhlawumbe khombisa ukuthi bantu nanwinile mhlawumbe nang number 1 tawuthola emaswidi lamathathu ngeke.
Lokunye Dlamini, I mean lokunye babezulu, sorry about that. It's to say have we ever attended an international tournament kulo 8 years?
So far I go tell say kwentile because as you say i-documentation yethu ayisikahle kulama mother bodies because Perse alone can never push table tennis to that level ngicabanga ukuthi level ngayibona ngayo. We need ukuthi thina si executive we work together and into lesendako siyathi ukuthi sesibukwe sive singayendi nje kwangathi kungumdlalo and lento ingasita abantu labaningi ngoba i-table tennis iyadlaleka nalabogogo namkhulu ekhaya bangayidlala.
Nanguvu khuluma babezulu you are a hurt person. Now I was attending, this is one of the international competitions, and it's sad that we can't take part of these games, and this doesn't require for you to go for a specific class. It's the commitment. You don't have to have more money than the other person to do that. It's just the table and everything. Now I attended the last AGM, annual general meeting, sport council. You were disqualified as an association that is non-existent. Why? What were the reasons? This AGM was about 4 months back, December, sometime December. Yes. Why? Babatsine, what are the reasons?
And see, we don't meet the standards like sports council.
What standards did they want from you?
There are certain things that funekatibeko na constitution policies, child protection policies, so all those things, office work, see up to date now. So ngicabanga ukuthi ngilapho la sifa khona kakhulu because ngeke usuke uphume ekhaya ungakahlobi uyeziveni. So kufuna ukuthi silungise ekhaya kuqala, silungise the office, sikhona ukuthi sihlangene si-executive sende into sikanye because nyalo nje ngisele naba bemaseko which is
Maseko the president.
Yes. So you see it's painful because siyafuna nathi kufana nalamanye ama-associations you see sikhone kudlala sibe ne-league. Into lebhlungu kakhulu dudu msakade sesifunzile we have the tools asakhona loku-implement lokunye ke sithe letinzawo okudlalela sithi siyacela latikolweni kube likhuni kuthole ukuthi sifuna sikhokhe imali manje as an association ngeke uthathe imali yabantwana ungiphesi uyoyifaka lena ubhadale so
ninazama kwethi ikholweni nje kubafundisa ngalo mdlalo
etikolweni siyaya mina nje kakhulu bangade etikolweni nyalo nje ngihle ngiya ku Salesian banamatafula nyalo ke sibene hlanhla sibitwe basevula amasango siyabonga kakhulu kuba bemavuso siyabonga ukuthi ngowangishayela wangibuta ukuthi how can we improve the sport kangwane can you buy tables wawathenga ke matafula abangifu amavuso and then nyalo nje train abantwana basevula amasango
so two things maybe before I let you go. I mean I keep calling you Lemon Tankole. Babezulu, sorry about that. Babezulu Tankole. So someone is watching somewhere somehow. uvile ukuthi itafula licosta 4,000 emalangeni. So the 4,000, I'm not saying it's small money, I'm not saying it's big money, but someone feels like he can afford that. Now, is it a need that we have now? If maybe you can get the tables, then this is part of the journey to review the sport. Is maybe getting equipment part of the things one can say, Babe Zulu, with the association, you have revamped the association.
Ya cha lapho nalapho singajabula mhlambe lo ngasiqhamela nalamatafula nalokunye ke it's an indoor game le ayifuni la kunemoya khona le bhola iyaphephuka so vele kufuna silalele la kuvaleke khona so kukhulu lokuthola letinzawo dokudlalela awubekisa ngami nje mina table tennis ngidlala ngisesesikolweni ngifunze MDS ngitsina ngiphuma esikolweni ngidlala e-youth center a city like Mbabane it's very painful ayina youth center and so
it's tough.
Now
ushito uthi you are only two. You are the vice president, Una Babe Masego who is the president. So do you sit and discuss to say what's the way forward? Now you've been disqualified, you don't meet the requirements, you don't meet the standards. You still have, I don't know if you still have those tables that you got yet.
Amatafula akona la khona leswathole recently. Yeah, because recently khona besikuyenda ukuthi nje akubonakala sometimes ngoba besicetha kufundzisa nje boRafael. Kude bekakwati kuphaya kangwane kubala table tennis. So sibe nawo ichance yokuthola Rafaela sithunyelwe ITTF nakhona sabafundzisa bomphaya. Na lokunye ke siyasebenza ngoba laba sifuna ko bayasithola like nje ngihle ngibidwa amadolobha sitobabalela yabona sibodubo city council onke amadolobha la khona event thole ukuthi ahlangene sike sabala futhi lapho sabona khona ukuthi cha singawenda lo msebenzi sike sabalela lapho ukuthi la kuhlangene amadolobha khona la Southern Africa sibalela wona.
So if one sorry to cut you Babezulu, if one is looking for you for in terms of help, support, equipment, facilities wise, you and Babe Masego, how do one is able to get you in terms of information?
Okay, sicabanga ukuthi bangasi emailela. We have our email lesayisusa yaka table tennis which ukuthi it's Eswatini table tennis association Eswatini table tennis @gmail.com.
Do you plan to go back and be qualified and be an affiliate of the Sport Council? How soon do you think of that can happen?
I'm dreaming ukuthi ngosiyami ngavuka nje kusasa sinayo yonke lento lefuna ama-mother bodies. I can be very much happy because ngeke vele sikhona kusebenza kahle singakalungisi ekhaya.
Wow. There you have it. Of course, Babe Zulu, thank you very much for being with us. And I think if there's any developments in terms of what's going on the sport. And if you are back into the good shoes of the Sport Council, we will also update the nation. And I think one or two people, like I said, maybe who are concerned, who love the sport also will have something to say and you'll be informed.
Yes, because bantu kangwane
asasive the nombolo babeso.
Okay, nombolo yami it's 7612 6564
126564
6564.
Wow. There you have it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Babe Zulu, of course, the Vice President of the Eswatini Table Tennis Association, of course, giving us some of the information that you can think it's because maybe the association doesn't want to do anything about the sport, but it is painful to understand that things are not going accordingly for him, the Vice President, and the President, Mr. Masego, for the past, I would say, roughly 5 to 7 years. Nothing has been happening. We do not have any player, any table tennis player who has represented us internationally. It's a shame. And it's something that should be rectified. Now, for the past, I think 6 to 7 months, they have been disqualified. They are not an affiliate of the Sport Council because they do not meet the requirements. A lot was said about the sport, but a lot needs to be done. Upcoming is Lida Dlamini, the in-house analyst, after the break.
itiko letempilo kwesixwayisile ke ngesifo lesivelile kulamalanga i-coronavirus COVID-19 bagcizelela kakhulu ukuhlendeka kwetandla lokumcoka ukuthi itandla digezwe nawugeza tandla ke bashilo ukuthi digeze lokungenani ama-seconds lang-20 ngemanti lagijimako lanesifo lokunye ke lesixwayise ngako ukuthi latingalweni lingahlala leligciwane uthi ngakuthi letingalo nato utiwashe ungashintshe itandla kuphela for 20 seconds nalamkhathini wetandla ugeze nakhona litawufa ligciwane kanjalo ngiyacela ma-loyal viewers gezani tandla nihlale ekhaya nihlale niphephile sitayinqoba i-COVID-19.
Now, from the moment it was announced that there will be no sporting activities due to the ongoing COVID-19, we all felt that. But imagine how much work you can do in your house just using your chair. Take a look at this. From my own chair, I'm able to exercise 30 minutes per day, from biceps to triceps to my abs. But what are you doing for? It is doable, it is possible. I'm able to do all the work. No matter how much take me, I will stay active. Now, if you're a soccer player, an athlete, a gym instructor, anyone who is exercising, use this time. It is doable in the house, in your own time. Stay safe. Together, we'll win this war.
Imidlalo yonke imisiwe eve. Hlala ekhaya utivikele kulesifo i-COVID-19. Ukuwa ukuthi uhlale ekhaya. Sitawudlala imidlalo uhulumende sekazivumele.
Kulesikhathi lapho khona umhlaba ula nemkhuhlane i-coronavirus, uhulumende kwakuleli ucele wona eMaswati ukuthi akahlale ekhaya alandzele timiso nemihambo yenhlangano yemhlaba emhlabeni. Kanike ngabe mbukeli ukuthi ngakala ukuthi uphume uye ekhaya ngoma ke uye emsebentini. Hlala ukufake i-face mask. Kanike ngabe kubita ukuthi khwehlelela emkhonweni. Sitawubonana mbukeli mayibuya tona Temidlalo sitawulandzela tona tinqumo ta hulumende. Stay home, stay safe.
So lokukhutsatwa kona ke ukuthi hlale ekhaya uhlanzekile ugeze tandla.
Keep fit, stay home.
Ungayi ngaphandle kuyodlala imidlalo.
Hlala ugqoke i-face mask.
Of course, we're still with you live here on Eswatini TV, and of course, thank you for keeping with us to know what's happening in your life in terms of information that you want to know about the sport and suggestions and everything. So here we are. I'm in the company of Linda Dlamini. Dlamini.
Ngiyabonga Fabrice ngikuvusele ngitithuba lokukhulu ngivusele imali yaviewers ekhaya ngibonga nje kusomandla lithuba lekubala.
Nawubonga kusomandla Dlamini, it reminds me that we've been hugely affected as a football fraternity in Eswatini following the incident of the heroes, the police men that passed away. But there is a sporting aspect within those people who left us. Maybe ungaspectela kancane.
Fabrice siyakhumbula ukuthi kuleli viki leliphelile sasho ukuthi sithi madudu kude tonke ihlobo lititsinzekile kule ngodi liyendeka ema sports ke la kangwane atsinzeka kakhulu cishe 3 wala amaphoyisa embube kubabo beba involved kuma sports ukhuluma ngaphumlane Mzebele bekadlala irugby ukhulume ngalo Mr Lazarus Makamo beka ku Royal Leopard medical team yes ukhuluma nganqamiso Sithutha amavuso what a player he was former Mbelebele player.
I think some people would have a good memory of that.
Waya na ku Royal Leopard lengicaba ukuthi ibhola ilahlekelwe nakhona solo njalo I was able ukuthi ngiye emgcobeni wa Mr Makamo engoyoyo ilahlekelwe sonke nje sport Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi so singachubeka nje sithi imoya yabo ayilale ngekuthula.
Wow, there you have it. No, it's true. We've lost something. Now, touching on sporting activities, usuka lapha beZulu. I think you maybe as we come in the studio, you heard 2 or 3 things he mentioned. It's a painful thing to hear that the association is not functioning because they can't afford a table tennis of 4,000, or having people who love the sport to keep active. What do you see? What did you pick from what Babezulu was saying?
Fabrice, angifuni kuvakala ngathi ngihash kule association.
True.
Table tennis, but if ufuna kusebenta Fabrice uthola abantu labafuna kusebenta uthi nyalo bangithu kuphela kule association wena president.
True.
If bafuna kusebenta mbamba abathole abantu labatawusebenta abahlale phasi badraft i-constitution because le tinvo letidzingiwa i-sports recreation council akusito tinvo ukuthi badzinga imali bo-100,000 badzinga i-constitution badzinga ne-structure lesikahle ngicabanga ukuthi if nabangakhona ukuthi balungise lokho bahlale phasi babanengi ngiyabekisa bangi-10 noma bangi-11 bayaplana le tinvo leto kuyakhethwa ukuthi ngibani president ngibani lisekela la president konke le tinvo leto bazame ukutibuyisa bona kude lo mnye umuntu lo tafike abendele le tinvo Fabrice ngaphandle kwabo.
I think another thing to mention, Gamin, is that all associations they are affected financially in one way or the other. So we can't always the first thing we can't always say all the times there's an issue of finances. We know that we are not a country where sports are full-time professional. Some are semi-professional like football, others are yet to be semi-professional. So from what he said, maybe do we even have people who love the sport on its own in the country?
Fabrice, le sport siyathandzwa nawungathi uthatha i-survey noma wende i-research konke lamaswati lakhona ubute ukuthi ukhulume nge-table tennis labanye basigcina kusibuka kuma international games but abati ukuthi bangazidlala kuphi if uyakhuluma ngetikolo but mina ngiva ngathi akusiko enough because nawufuna ukuthi umdlalo one ukucala nawufuna ukuthola ama sponsors dzinga ukuthi lo mdlalo watiwe tsasa lo mdlalo umixele lekulabantu nawathi ukuthi kune event thite lekhona tsasa lelitafula lakho phela uhambe uyothi but
it's a mobile sport.
Exactly. Kwenduwani kuleli tafula le okudlala i-table tennis asengidlala hawu ngingachubeka kuphi ngidlale full time ngicabanga ukuthi le tinvo leto le marketing strategy.
Yes, I think another thing right sincere Dlamini is the issue of maybe revenue, not revenue per se, but rewards. To say after the game, let's say there's a tournament, is there anything to give to the winners, the actual winners on the day? Is there anything to put there to say it's a tournament that can be played? I think this is another problem. He says it's they don't have potential sponsors to sponsor their tournaments.
Fabrice, ngathini kuhlomelisa abadlali labadlale kahle kugcineni lokho kutawufika le sport nangabe sesikhulile sesibonakala lo sibantu ema teams akhona ajoinile onke lama regions because nawubuka ibhola kuqalwe 3 years ago ukuthi kuhlonyuliswe ama man of the match uyabona bani labashayina amagoli amaningi ama hat-trick ngema yellow Sundays so tinvo uhamba ngestepis awutijaki uyabona if bona bafuna vele kusithatha le sport serious ukuthi nalama sponsors atabathatha serious abathathe le sport satiwe kulabantu at least half of noma ikota ya Eswatini ikhulume ngale sport ukuthi how ngiyodlala i-table tennis like kwendeka ebholeni like kwendeka ku-volleyball like kwendeka ku-netball i-volleyball Fabrice nangabe idlala i-league yakhona ichubeka ukhanza amazini babani bakhuluma nge-volleyball mazini babani bakhuluma nge-netball akwendeke kanjalo nakule sport lezo sibone le ngcubekela phambili.
There you have it. And I think it's a sport that is very active within the region. You talk about countries like Botswana, the likes of Lesotho. They have something to say about the sport. Now, let's cross over to our international international news, Dlamini, to look at what's happening. News making headlines in Afghanistan. 6 years ban for this wicket keeper. What did you see when? How shocked were you when they talked about 6 years?
Fabrice sikhuluma wicket goalkeeper keeper yase Afghanistan Shafikula Shaka lengicaba ukuthi
what a name.
Fabrice labadlala icricket but awu understand noma mhlambe labangayadi cricket wicket keeper kuba ngilolo mala ngemuva
asesimbone ukuze ukuthi si understand it mean
aphathe ama gloves
yes
lolo gatsa ukuthi le bhola nangabe kwentekile ukuthi le batman igejile ayinqake noma nangabe uyishaya kabi akhona
so it's the one who wears the casket
yes but uphinza fake nalama gloves lo mala ngemuva because even nale batsman iyayifaka le ngicaba ukuthi ubenshiwe for 6 konke lokuphathelana ne cricket akasonzeli kuko for 6 years.
So the one in the red casket is the one.
Lo fake makalapa ngasithi nje ngeSiswati sikubita ngamakalapa.
Yes.
Lo fake makalapa lo la ngemuva.
Yes.
Wicket
the blue
keeper.
one. Yes.
Yes, that's a wicket.
And then
keeper.
the one with the stick and the green top singathini ngayo?
I batsman.
A batsman.
Yes.
So the one Lopenshiwe for 6 years is the one
lo la
the
ngemuva.
keep.
Yes, lo shang le bhola la ngemuva.
So batsini
For
it's interesting.
Ubenshiwe for corruption Fabrice ilicala lelalenda 2018 look involve one of the biggest matches kule league yabo yase Afghanistan siyathi ukuthi inqumbi ma teams cricket adlala ku Indian Premier League the IPL siyathi ke naye ke wakwadlala ke khona lengicaba ukuthi in fact bekafuna nekufaka ekhathi
that's
yes nguye lo bekafuna kufaka ekhathi i teammate yakhe 2019 lo mkhuba wakhe but wakhona ke le teammate yakhe kubaleka ngicaba ukuthi it's a shame kuye nakufamily yakhe ukuthi ungaba involved corruption kubo match fixing kulesikhathi lezi dinvule kungakameli tendeke uma wicket goalkeepers lamhlabeni siwabonile ladlalile abo Makbaucha Sangakkara inqumbi Fabrice lengicaba ukuthi na le cricket yonke nje ulese lihlazo
kula 6 years Dlamini, maybe if you look at an option, is there a way maybe you can keep you can pay an amount of sort of an amount of money so that maybe the ban is reduced to a minimum of probably 3 to 4 years, or we're looking at him facing the 6 years, there's no other option?
Good telling option Fabrice, not unless illegal team yakhe ihambi yo appeal ifake appeal then mhlawumbe bangasibuketa kancane le ban yakhe, but nje ngicaba ukuthi lo 6 years uyamlungela asibadzingi bani labanjengaye kuma sports onke high cricket kuphela onke ma sports abadzingi kubani labanjengaye.
Now let's move on to Formula 1 because it's quite interesting what's happening with Formula 1 Germany, because the chairman Mr. Cheskeri, I think if I'm not mistaken, last week he mentioned that the possibility of not having any race this year is there because they have lost so much income in terms of revenue, because if you look at how for 4 months nothing has been happening, 84% of their money has not been been coming in, but now all of a sudden it's been mentioned that the season is going to kick off between the 2nd to the 3rd of July this year. That's quite interesting.
Uqinisile Fabrice CEO wayo iFormula 1 Chase Carey bekakhuluma in fact namhla ukhulumile nama fans ukuthi itawubuya iFormula 1 in Austria, itawubuya idlale inakhuza le Austria kule inakhuza leyo mhla ka 2 to 3 July, but nakhona nangabe solo ba monitor ngicaba ukuthi bashilo ukuthi if lesimo isitawuchubeka sibe ngcono then itawuchubeka iFormula 1 siyathi ukuthi vele inqumbi yema drivers Formula 1 solo Fabrice bafuna ukubuyela emidlalweni, ukhuluma ngabo Hamilton ukhuluma ngabo Alonso ungabasho baqetse Fabrice, they can't wait.
Now let's move on to the interesting part. I mean, when you talk about international football, I think this point will have a good relevance with local aspect. Now Spain have resumed training. German Bundesliga is supposed to start this weekend. I mean, when you look at this pandemic, I want you to be sincere. Spain won't come here and say, La Liga won't come here and say, Bob. Bundesliga won't come here. Be sincere, because it will affect also positively our local league, Premier League. Do you think we can play? I'm looking at options, I mean. When a player is in the field of play, football is a contact sport, in a way. Players, once they sweat, I'm going to be maybe sorry to use this, they can't stop. In most of the cases, they like splitting on the field of play. It happens a lot. And these are some of the signs of saying when WHO together with the entire world are saying we need to stop these things. Now these are the players returning to training, and you know when a player runs on the field of play after 5 to 6 minutes, you find himself he's spitting on the ground. So these are something you can't stop from players. This is Barcelona Camp Nou. What's your take? Are we coming back? Because it seems to be too early, too good.
Fabrice ngiva ngathi kuse early kuthi bangabuya nawubuka kuthi 5 abadlali eSpain ba teste positive babambile iCovid-19 kuyingodi because nangabe 5 abadlali lokusho ukuthi bese nangabe bese baqalile nje ejima sengibekise bese baqalile ejima sebadabathelela labanye kuyingodi kakhulu ngiva ngathi ku early ukuthi bengabuya lemidlalo bekudinga ukuthi lesimo at least 5% population yakulelo lifa atawuthi sekude le corona.
A player like Lionel Messi, Dlamini, Naumbuga, I think is and Suarez. These are some of the highest players emhlabeni in terms of income. Messi, I think, is the second after Cristiano. At this point in time, what's happening within the team? The team makes the income by making sure that there's attendance. Remember, Master, most of these teams sell their tickets prior to the season, which means the income is already in there, but the attendance fine right now is not happening.
Now buka Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi vele ngeke ngasho ngathi ku commercial now buka ukuthi ifaka tindzaba tetimali bekakhuluma nje president wayo ila Liga Javier Tebas ukuthi ibhola nayibuya nyalo itawudlala almost every day. Ila Liga ne first division yakhona, so uyabona ukuthi le thing involve imali kakhulu, babukele imali kakhulu. Ngicabanga ukuthi bese bashaya isikhathi kuma sponsors abo, but ke lokumcwa kakhulu ngeke ngaveta kanenge ngathi ngule mpilo yalabadlali bangayijaka imali bajake kubuyela kubakhe imali through lama teams, but impilo lemcwa kakhulu yalabadlali asingajakini kude ukuthi mhlambe nakungadlalwa khona lofako, but nasibuyela emidlalweni ingapheli corona khona lofako.
These are full assessment. I mean, nawubuka bo peak kubuka ukuthi umthimbo njani for the entire 3 to 6 weeks. Within big period of 3 to 6 weeks they have been in the house. So
let's say Fabrice, yes, let's say iyabuyela lemidlalo. Mina Fabrice anginankinga abadlali abatestwe vele bonke labantu labataba involved kulama games ba test, but asengithi iBarcelona isayibuyele ileague kutholakala ukuthi 3 walabadlali babo noma 5 abadlali babo ba positive. Ama-games aqhubeka ngala kutawendwani ima-games eBarcelona odwa atawumiswa noma kutawuchubeka kumiswe yonke ileague.
There you have it. That's a good question to ask. Now, when you look at in the local aspect, in as much as this is not the time maybe to talk about that, we don't have those type of technology where we have to do a body assessment of a player before the entire training session. But what can we do as well if we decide to bring the league? In as much as but what are the measures should we take if we decide to come back as a country?
Stabisijake because njoba ngishilo ngathi yes nala kangwane nakhona kukhona lokuse ama sponsors le special the league ne Premier League bafuna ukuthi banale divumelwano tabo, but again lokumcwa kakhulu ngilabadlali nawubuka lapha indlela laba testa ngayo labacikelela ngayo ukuthi badlali baya testwa sitawukhona insini ukuthi onke lama clubhouse la kangwane kuhambe badlali ba testwe kahle bonke labantu aba involved security stadium ba connect testa kahle bo referee abo coach bonke labo sitawukhona insini sikwende lokho njengoba bakwenda overseas, because bakwenda overseas but still nawubuka lothi 5 ama players are tested positive. Ngicabanga ukuthi asingajakini wonke umuntu uvele ujakile ukuthi itemidlalo tibuye ibhola ibuye, but asesimeni kancane. Mina ngiyacela ukuthi kube bekungamiwa kancane.
Okay, There you have it. I mean, of course, leagues keep being affected. Zinedine Zidane in the company of his players, the likes of Marcelo, Gareth Bale, all the players from Madrid. Of course, this is Eden Hazard.
Eden Hazard.
Yes.
In fact, Fabrice la, I was happy ngibona Eden Hazard
Abuya from the injury.
Abuya from injury and aluze iweight kancane because uyakhumbula ukuthi before I
injury
abesa gain kancane Thibaut Courtois goalkeeper wa Madrid naye cishe ushilo wathi he can't wait udiva ngathi vele so tawubuya efomini yakhe. Ngicabanga ukuthi bonke labadlali bonke vele bayafisa kubuyela egamini. Wonke umuntu including nema fans now weve ama comments awo bayafuna babukela ibhola but simona sesikahle.
Now another quick question I wanted to find out, because I mean, if you remember, when the season ends in May, there is a 2 months period before a new season starts. Because if it ends in May, we have June, July, August, mid-August, the season starts. So players have got only 1 month to go and just have a time to relax. But July, pre-season tournaments have started. So would one say that the level of football we might watch, Nyalongos, might be very, very low in terms of performance, the rate of the performance of the player? The performance will drop in all the leagues, because if they stopped almost all the leagues within the Europe, let's say the entire world, they stopped March. We're talking about May. It's actually 2 months players not being active. How are we expecting the leagues to be on top of the game if they were not active?
Fabrice, nawubuka vele ukuthi tinva atingeke tize tibuyele tifane njengoba betinjalo liqiniso asilamukeleni. Bancane badlali labangathi bathathe i-break ya 2 months. Ubobuka abadlali nabangabe babuya ku-injury, ubuya aqale aphike iform kancane then ungitshela ngabadlali abahlala 2 months bangajimi. Yes, bebawenda lawo ma-light sessions, but kudlala igame nekujima endlini akufanani. So 2 months then kutawudlala onke lamalanga ngicabanga ukuthi ne-fatigue itababamba because bebangagijimi. Then utawuthona abadlala onke lamalanga at least twice in 3 days, uyabona kutaba affect. Then nale break lebe kumele bayithathe off season, pre-season, letinvo leto ngeke tize tibiyele kahle. That's why ngithi mina akungarashwa if ba decide ukuthi ema games nyalo ayachubeka bajake August, September, then kutaba nalenkinga e-pre-season because siyathi ukuthi overseas emalika khona nakuzwa kakhulu ngilama seasons ukuthi kune winter, kune summer, tonke letinvo leto because December sekutawusonzela winter kanti lapho khona ama games asuka samnanzi khona. Yes.
Now FIFA talked about maybe before we move on, FIFA talked about 5 actually in fact it's IFAB, International Football Association Board, talked about 5 substitution per game.
Yes, itolo. In fact, Fabrice, ngicabanga ukuthi FIFA wende kahle kakhulu kulanza former Arsenal manager in Arsene Wenger ukuthi buke tindzaba te development ngala ku FIFA, then kube na IFAB lolu buke imithetho ya FIFA. Yes. Bakhuluma nga 5 ma substitute kunyalo kule period le, batabe seba monitor ukuthi kuyasebenza imvelo labholeni. Lengicabanga ukuthi mine ngiva ngathi nyalo kutaba kahle because labadlali if utathona abadlale ema games lang 2 kwemalangeni lang 3 kuyadzinga vele ukuthi kube nale rotation bashintshane labadlali 5 ama substitutes per game. Ngicabanga ukuthi kahle kakhulu.
There you have it. On top of things, of course, that being with us. Thank you very much for being here. And I think that information on its own gives us a clear view of what's happening in the world, of course, and of world of sport. Now, if you're with us for the entire, hour, we have to catch up and say it was a beautiful show. From the moment we talked to the Eswatini, Netball Association executive member, who happens also to be a coach of one of the clubs, to the moment we went on to talk to Mr. Zulu, the vice president of the table tennis, who gave us the entire information about how the sport is being dropping and the ins and the outs about the association up to the moment where Dlamini was giving us an overview of what's happening on what's happening on our international page. Otherwise, if you missed the program, there's always a repeat the next day from 8 in the morning up to 9. YouTube platform, of course, for those who are watching, we thank you very much. Otherwise, the entire production, especially Eswatini TV Sports, sidlala kamnanzi.